I remember my dad. He used to say that there's two kinds of people in this world. There's the person that's getting pissed on and says that it's raining, and then there's the person that's getting pissed on and moves out of the way. And I couldn't understand this when I was younger, and a lot of it was because I was just a blind optimist. I was just the most optimistic person that you'd ever find. And although it was everything was great, sunshine and rainbows, it ended up getting me into a lot of trouble. And I used to get taken advantage a lot, and I struggled a lot in business. I would just get the rug pulled over me over and over again because I was the type of person that was getting pissed on and just saying, oh, it's raining, even though I was getting pissed and I should have been moving out of the way. And so I've learned, as I've gotten older, I've learned the value and the importance in being realistic and seeing things for what they are. I mean, I'm still optimistic. I'm still, a happy and a peaceful person, and I have learned how to make the best of situations. But I've learned the value and the importance in being realistic, and again, seeing things for what they are, which a lot of people don't see things for what they are, and they don't realize that just how rigged the system has been set up against us. And what I mean by that is that it's painfully obvious, but a lot of people don't see this, that we've been born into a system and a society in which the system is rigged against us in almost every angle of life. And this isn't being negative or pessimistic. I'm at peace with this, and I want to share, afterwards, my closing thoughts on this. But that's the truth. If we supposedly live in the greatest country in the world, and don't get me wrong, I do think this is the best country comparatively to a lot of other places. But this is supposedly the greatest country in the world, yet everybody is depressed. I mean, I'm not, but the majority of the people in this country are depressed. Depression is, rampant. People can't hold a relationship, together for the life of them. Divorce is like, it's almost inevitable nowadays. The health, the average health of the average person in this country is horrible. I think 1 out of every 3 people today gets cancer. 1 out of every 3 people is diabetic. Pretty much everybody is overweight. Nowadays, being overweight is average. That's the norm. All kinds of diseases and everything are skyrocketing and rampant. It's very difficult for the average person to get ahead. That's why I choose the entrepreneurial route, so I'm able to make a lot more money. But it's very difficult. And I'm not being serious about this, for the average person to get ahead. I mean, we get taxed from every different angle. When we make money, when we spend money, so much of our money gets taxed, and inflation has been going up like crazy. If this system was set up really to to fully support us and to make, we could all be working so much less, and being able to provide for such a much easier, better quality of life. Like how it was at one time. There was a time that people were able to work. One husband could work a 40-hour week job, and the wife could stay home, take care of the kids, and that was enough money to live a debt-free life, and allow the wife to stay home and to take care of the kids, and they could raise a full family and just an average income. But nowadays it's things are a lot tougher, and you can work multiple jobs full time, both partners, husband and wife, and still, just because of the way the system is set up, to barely even be able to retire when you get older. So I know you're probably thinking like, dang, this is a negative and a dark video. Well, it's seeing things for what they are. But with that being said, you can in life you can either get bitter or you can get better. And like I said before, if you go through life just looking, hey, I'm getting pissed on, but it's just raining out, then you're still getting pissed on. Where I've learned the value and have been able to move further forward in my life, in business and relationships and happiness and peace, by moving out of the way than standing there getting pissed on and ignorant. So knowing how the system, that it's rigged against us, that's an important part of waking up and not going through life ignorant. But then you have to make the best of the situation for what it is. And it's kind of like, if you were sentenced to life in prison, and you had, for whatever reason, that doesn't matter, it's not part of the story, but if you just for some reason you ended up in prison and you with ever getting out, then what would be your choice? I know for me, if I was ever sentenced to life in prison, then I would, because I had no choice, I would just make the best of the situation. You know, I would just read books every day, practice my meditation, I'd work on becoming like a Zen master and work out, try to get jacked, and try to learn multiple languages and just educate, just make the best of the situation for what it was. And so with the situation that we're in now, there's nothing, it's really you can do about it unless you end up becoming one of the elites in the world or something. So make the best of the situation for what it is. Work on what you can control, which is within your circle of influence. One of my favorite self-improvement books was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Excellent book. But I remember the most important principle in that book is focusing on what is within your circle of control, what it is that you can control. So you can't control the tax system. You can't control all the political drama that's going on in the world. You can't control all the, you can't immediately, heal the nationwide health epidemic. But what you can do is you can work on you. You can decide, to make your vessel as healthy as possible. You can decide to make your mindset as bulletproof as possible. You can decide to study and research and educate yourself. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. You can decide to work on, creating multiple streams of income, multiple businesses, so that you can defy the odds instead of just being like a statistic, like most people going through life, struggling and letting this system get the best of them. You can decide to get better and figure out the loopholes and what can be done to succeed even in a system that is massively rigged against you, which it is rigged against you. But it is still possible to succeed and to become somebody and to fulfill your dreams even with a system that is rigged against you. And that's the nice thing about it. Those who play video games, or you always know that there's always hacks. There's there's playbooks, and where you can watch other YouTubers online and figure out what to do and how to become more effective and efficient at the course. It's the same thing with life. In life, there are playbooks and cheat codes and hacks as well. And so, you can go through life bitter about the situation, which a lot of other people do as well. They just complain, they sit there and they watch the Fox News or CNN News or whatever, and they just sit there and bitch about politics and this and that, and complain about how, life will be better when this person becomes president or whatever, or, once this thing happens, or, if only women were like this, then life would be so much better, or men were like that, or whatever, and you can always blame, and just sit back and complain and bitch about how we've been lied to and manipulated as people, and how the system and the elites are taking advantage of us and extorting us, or you can decide to get better and to just work on yourself and decide that you're going to be that seed that doesn't take much to succeed. Pulling my DMX rap out on you guys. So yeah, guys, you know what? We are living in hell. It's a crazy system, but the beautiful thing about the mind is that you can make a heaven out of hell or a hell out of heaven. It's all up here and in your mindset. So you can either get bitter or you can get better. Get better, my friends, and let's take this life by the horns and make the absolute best of this life while we're here. So until next time, guys, let's make it a great day, great week, a great month, a great year. Let's make it a great life. See ya.